Nothing else matters if your health is not in order. A month ago, I found myself in a whirlwind of burnout. The constant pressure to post, grow, and meet my lofty self-imposed goals left me feeling drained and uninspired. Missed deadlines and that classic imposter syndrome tag team me. So much for Vlogmas, I thought. What's worse though, I became physically ill. So ill, in fact, that I wound up in the ER just 2 days after Christmas. It was at this point that I realized nothing else matters if my health is not in order. But let me back up a bit because I did not get here by accident. The truth is, I'd lost the plot. I'd also lost my spark. That little piece of you that tells you to keep going even when the going gets tough because there's something greater on the other side of the climax. Yeah, gone. Even doing the most basic tasks, one small stressor seemed to shake the spark gone again. This had been my truth for weeks, maybe months, but when my body and mind no longer felt in my control, I knew it was time to do something different and seek support. Content creation is something I started out doing as a game, but shortly thereafter, it became what felt like my public identity. Then there was the endless scrolling for research. I had bought into the scam without even realizing it. And now, nearly 6 years later, I can acknowledge my obsession, my addiction really, with seeking external validation. So I made the decision to step away from content creation for a little while for my physical and mental health. But once I made that decision, I was filled with immense guilt, even grief about lost time. Time I was no longer dedicating to public content creation, but rather to myself privately. Grief doesn't mean you made the wrong decision. It's been said, grief is the cost of love. But I needed to figure out whether or not this love was really true. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Also, sorry for all the lighting changes. It's stormy outside. It was too bright, now it's dark. I don't know, guys. So in a season where everybody's feeling ambitious and setting goals for this year, you may feel compelled to go big or go home. But before you potentially commit yourself to another season of self-doubt and burnout, I encourage you to take a little inventory. Before making this video, I went through a series of questions to determine whether or not this whole thing is still for me. For the sake of time, we won't go through the whole list, but I will answer some of the questions along with you. Yes, I said with you because we're content cousins. In fact, I made it even easier for you to do. I love Notion. Love me some Notion. So I made a little template for you to use for free. Link below. I'm going to give sections 1 and 2 a little sandwich combo. How am I feeling mentally and physically overall? Physically, I am doing a whole lot better. I'm getting my appetite back. I had unfortunately been having a hard time keeping food down, which is what landed me in the ER. They gave me a good old IV and I was feeling much better after that. I've also just been eating much more cleanly, much cleaner since then, and I think that just contributes to my overall well-being. I'm also sticking to a routine that has really made my mornings the most ideal, and I think that just helps me have a good start to my day, which kind of kickstarts the good vibes for the whole rest of the day. I do still have a couple more doctor's appointments to do follow-ups for, but overall I have a clean bill of health. So to get into content creation a little more specifically, I just want to answer this reflection question on my motivation. What aspects of content creation bring me joy and fulfillment? I think overall I enjoy the completed product. Once I feel like I did a good job or up to my standards of editing and picking the music, and once I make my vision come to life, I feel good. If I have the plot beforehand, if I know what I'm trying to execute and then I execute it, I feel good about that. I think I just like completing things in general. And then I also like being the art. I like modeling, I guess you could say, and I like participating in the art. So I also enjoy the actual creation process. And I also like that I feel connected to other creative people because their energy is just like infectious. And I enjoy seeing people create things. And so being in a creator community, I think, also brings me joy. We're going to skip ahead a bit because that kind of leads me to the community section. How do I feel about my connection with my audience / community? I feel really, really connected to my audience members that are also creatives. I think there's some like sisterhood camaraderie there. And so I appreciate like that side of my audience. I think where I struggle maybe is that a good chunk of my audience is just like people who know me in real life and not necessarily people who enjoy my content, and there's a difference. And so I'm always torn about like starting over or creating a new channel. I feel like I'm doing that a little bit here on YouTube and revitalizing it because there's not a lot of crossover here on YouTube, but I don't know. Like, I don't think people don't support me. I definitely get support from, family and friends. I just think like a few degrees out, there are people who just are there, but not necessarily for me and like want to just be here because like we all follow people maybe that we aren't that connected to anymore. I don't know. I cleared mine out recently, but I'm rambling. You get me. I love those who are here for me, and I love supporting other people who like to post on the internet, I guess you could say. Jumping to section 6, just checking in on the passion itself. Have I explored new creative avenues or considered pivoting? That's a funny one because I think I'm in the midst of a little pivot right now. I don't want to give away too much, but there is a podcast in the works. I'm hoping that the stuff I've learned over the years in creating my own content, I can pour into this podcast and maybe take some of the pressure off of it just being on me and about me. That's all I'm going to say on that for now. More to come. With that, we're going to skip work-life balance because I don't know that that's going to totally exist right now, if I'm being honest. By the time you are seeing this, I will be in the midst of my first 12-week year. Yes, I am starting in February because you can start at any time. I am definitely focused on maintaining the progress I've made in my mental and physical health, but I'm also trying to get my content creation life together. So don't know how balanced will be. So we'll skip to number 8. Stressors and coping strategies. What are the main stressors in my content creation journey? I think overall for me, I build up a lot of anxiety around editing. In my mind, it's a really long process, and so I put it off, and then I have a bunch of content that I need to edit, and then it just like compounds. I also don't like when content doesn't perform well, and most of the time my metrics for performance are views and likes and comments, and like that makes sense from a vanity standpoint, but it's not always the most helpful or healthy. And truth be told, it probably shouldn't always be like the main goal each time. So if I really love content creation and I'm saying I enjoy the process, when people see it shouldn't be what completely controls my feelings around it. So that's something I'm working on. What healthy coping mechanisms do I employ during times of stress? I take breaks. I just take breaks. Like I said at the beginning, this is something I started for fun, and I don't want it to not be that anymore. Though I would like it to put money in my pocket. But that means I have to treat it like a business, and business isn't always fun. Ooh, the circles we go in. Okay, content cousins, and the last question in this section. Have I considered seeking professional support? I have. And I am in the process of looking for a therapist right now. If you are considering, or if you have questions about it, leave some, let's have a conversation in the comments, because it's not an easy process, and I'm probably not the only one. So let's talk about it. The last thing I've discovered in this season is that I might be better served consulting the creatives rather than being one. That's still TBD. I am talking to my content cousins who I am cousins with in real life about the potential of, taking my talents to the other side of the camera more permanently in a way that allows me to keep some balance and energy in my life. So we shall see. I'll keep you posted. Well, that is it for this video today. Thanks for catching up with me in my life lately. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe so that you can keep up with my content. I post new videos weekly. And if you're not done watching, I suggest you watch this video next. Until next time, keep creating, my friends. Bye-bye.